Of course you want to be a champion. Of course you want to be working towards winning titles.
Be happy, but never satisfied.
Better than ever.
Just average.
Hold on, it was unplugged.
Oh.
So
That Good afternoon, everybody. We are filming live today from Kelowna, BC in the beautiful Thompson Okanagan region, which is situated on the traditional unceded territory of three interior Salish nations, the Syilx, the Secwepemc, and the Nicola-Pamau people. Our sponsors today are Discraft, BE Ultimate, and Ultimate Canada. My name is Jamie Ihaxi, and I'm joined here by Grace Freiheit, and we're going to be watching a women's division game at the Canadian Ultimate Championship Masters. Today we have Team Sour in black versus Old Garden in white. Grace, what do you think of this matchup today?
I think it's going to be an interesting matchup. We were talking to Old Garden before the game, and they're just saying they've got a lot of experience on their team. One woman was joking that they have the highest average age out of all the women's teams, so coming in with some experience. And Sour, quite a young team, so we'll see how it plays out.
Excellent. Well, they are getting started here. We have Old Garden in the white on offense versus Sour in the black on defense. Old Garden here looking to get off with a conversion here. All right, we got 91 Tessa Kenning in the middle of the field, swinging it over to Cheris Fung. Right at the end zone, looking for a conversion here. It is up. And it is caught in the end zone. Excellent. That is a point for Old Garden.
I think that was a bit of a high stall count, maybe a bit of a panic or a save me throw from Ho. Looked like she just wasn't getting what she wanted from Kenning, cutting in the handler position, and had to look back upfield and maybe just put one up for her teammates, hoping that they come down with it. And it seems to have worked out pretty well for Ho.
I didn't see who caught that pass, but what an excellent catch. A bit of a floater coming in. So that's 1 for Old Garden and 0 for Sauer. Old Garden is coming out of Calgary, as well as some players from Vancouver Island and Northwest Territories. And Sauer in the black is coming out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, with some players from New Brunswick and other areas as well.
It'll be interesting to see how the Halifax players do with the heat here. I haven't been to Halifax, but from what I've been told, it doesn't get quite this warm there.
It is over 30 degrees, and there's a very little breeze. It is hot out there, folks. So we've got Old Garden pulling the disc to Sauer in the black. Sauer would like to respond with a point of their own after that excellent point from Old Garden. So that was picked up by Sarah Spravola, but turned over. We got Kuhn picking it up, number 1. Looking to swing it over. Dumps it back to Lee, 54, and up to Luke. Oh, Luke tried to move it up the field. Excellent defense from Clark from Team Sauer. Clark went to swing it across the field, but it was missed. Great opportunity for Old Garden to capitalize here and get a break point here. Old Garden moving it across the field. We got Luke with the disc again, and this time it is caught. MacArthur swings it across. Great catch by Lee, and we got a call on the field.
Pick up the field. The defender gets to catch up with their offensive player.
Okay, so it's back to Lee in the center of the field. Oh, a little high. And brought down by Trainer from Sauer. Over to Barber. Sauer trying to get back on track here with their offense. Goes up to Patterson. Patterson's looking up the field. Up to Clark. Couldn't get it off. Looked like the stall count was probably getting high there. Hey, Grace.
Sauer is really, really trying to keep it on the break side of the field, really looking off open throws on the open side to work it to the break side, and it just didn't quite work out for them that point.
Well, and it looks like Old Garden's really covering them well in the defense. But once again, Old Garden has an opportunity for a break point here. Swinging it across the field. We got Kuhn. Moving it up. Tam swings it back to the middle. And once again, we got Lee back to the middle for Luke. And MacArthur looking to convert this. It's out. Is that caught? They're looking at the observer. This looks like a disputed catch here, Grace.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. Everyone's looking around a little bit confused. I don't think anyone has a real opinion on what happened other than the player at the back of the stack from Sauer.
Now, it's true that if that disc touches any part of the ground before the player has it in control, that is a miscatch.
Yes, or if you use the ground to help you catch it, if you're trapping it on your body and the ground at the same time, still not completed catch.
So it looks like it's going back to the thrower, going back to MacArthur.
It's having a bit of a discussion here on what the stall count will come in at.
Because each player has 10 seconds to throw the disc before it's turned over. Okay, and we're back here again. Oh, we have another call on the field.
Another pickup field. The stack's just a little bit crowded. They don't have the space they need to make their cuts.
Okay, well, back on. Tam throws it up. It's not good, not completed. And again, Sauer looking to get their offense back on track here. They have been unable to cross half with the disc. A bit of a forehand huck here. Oh, and Old Garden was able to get a hand on that. Oh, a bit of a miscatch there.
The women on the field here just looking a little tired. It's been a long point. Oh, there's a timeout called right as I said that.
You knew it. You saw it. You saw they needed that. They needed that to catch their breath.
Yeah, long, hard-fought point on both ends, and it's hot out there. I can't imagine it's easy playing these long points like this.
Well, we saw 2 games this morning, and the first game there was maybe 3 missed catches the whole game.
Yeah.
And the second game there was a few more than that, and we've seen here quite a few missed catches. I wonder if it is the heat and just
the end of the day.
It's a lot of games.
There's a lot of hard work that these women put in, and it's a long day for them. So it's those long points nobody wants. We'll see what they come out with here.
Well, Sauer is starting with possession, and they have been unable to get some success with their offense here. So hopefully this timeout will give them some organization, something to get going with, something to build off of.
Setting up a vertical stack here.
Okay. And Jennifer Clark is going to start with the disc. All right, game on. Swings it over to Barber. Swings it over again. Here we go. Now we have some successful passes. Up throw here, upfield. Back to Clark. Clark swings it over. And
another pick up the field here.
Gillespie caught that. Gillespie or Duffy, a.k.a. Duffy. So Duffy puts it up, and it is caught by Jennifer Clark for Sauer. After all that, they managed to convert, tying up the game 1-1.
It's nice to see Sauer's kind of living or dying by their offense of keeping it on the break side. They're really looking away, open side throws to push it to the break side. And once they get it there and they get moving, it's wide open shots for them. So it's nice to see them really pushing to get it on that sideline.
So the Old Garden defense is trying to get them to throw into one side of the field, the open side of the field, but Sauer keeps on trying to throw to the other side, the side that Old Garden does not want them throwing to.
That's correct, yep.
Well, Old Garden looking to respond, see if we can keep that pace of avoiding the break point, getting the offensive point.
Hopefully a nice, efficient point. Old Garden's got a lot of their powerhouses on the line right now. A lot of quick cutters. They're top handlers out right now, so we see how quickly they can convert this O point here.
Okay. Looks like Sauer is ready to pull it. And it is up. Nice pull. caught in the middle of the field and moving up right away. Watamaniuk has got it, or Watamaniuk. Incomplete pass. Sauer has position. Oh, but a quick defensive play from Gillespie. And a huck and catch by Old Garden.
Terry Whitehead catching that one, probably one of the most notorious women in Kelowna. She's been dominating all levels of ultimate mixed women's for a lot of years. I think a lot of young women, a lot of players in Canada look up to somebody like her. She's just really been a dominant player almost all of her career.
Well, with the fantastic catch and wide open to receive that, puts Old Garden in the lead, 2-1. Old Garden, as mentioned, coming from Calgary in white, and Sauer in black coming from Halifax. So again, we got to see if Sauer's offense can get off to a little bit better start. It seemed like they were really struggling to move it up the field the last point.
Yeah, they did get a turn. It was just kind of a bit of a fluke defensive play there. Didn't wait for the people upfield to set up, and a bit of a turnover. So we'll see if these teams can complete a break. They're getting them. They're just not executing once they get the turnover.
Looks like they're ready to go. So Old Garden sends the pull up. Looks like it went just out of bounds, so they'll be bringing it into the center of the field, right where it went out. And we got all right, we got Sauer in the middle of the field. Good catch there. Erica Barber dropping it back to Jennifer Clark. Oh, and great effort for that catch. Oh, but couldn't get the continuation. Old Garden now has an opportunity here for a break point here to get a 2-point lead. Oh, couldn't get the pass across. Sauer now. I hear them calling chili on the field. Hawkins there. Puts it up. Caught by Trainer. Trainer looking upfield. Up again. Patterson, and they're looking at the observer.
There's a pick on the field, but it did not affect the play. So the people involved, the girl wide open and the beautiful hammer tour still plays.
There we go. So Sauer able to match the point from Old Garden, 2-2. Seems like we're seeing a lot of these midfield turnovers. The teams, what do they need to do to sort of work on that or avoid that?
Honestly, I think Sauer's doing a great job trying to work it to the break side. I just think that they're just not quite completing all those throws. Maybe they could just get a little bit more movement going, use the open side when needed just to get movement with the disc going. But they're doing well. They're not looking like this is the first tournament they've ever played together. They have some good chemistry. I think they can build on it. This is a old team of a lot of history and a lot of chemistry they're playing against. So I think they're doing pretty well.
Okay, well, Sauer's pulling it out to Old Garden. Old Garden on offense here, looking to respond again, get that offensive point. Swinging it over to Terry Whitehead. Terry drops it back to Fung. And Fung puts it up to T. It's up. Oh, a bit of a contested throw there, and Sauer able to knock it down. It's put up to Patterson. Oh, sorry. McMichael. That was McMichael, not Patterson. And over to Shea. We got a call on the field here. Looks like play is going to continue. We got Caldwell starting it off. Passing it over to Haley. Oh, and just out of the reach of Delaney. So Old Garden back in control here. And they're putting it up. Oh, looks like that was thrown out of bounds. So Sauer with an opportunity for a break point here. Moving it up the center of the field. Dietrich moving it up again. And it is thrown and caught by McMichael in the end zone. Way to capitalize on that turnover.
It's really quite enjoying watching Sauer really utilize that break side. It's beautiful movement, and they're doing a really good job working with it. The throws you have open when you get to that break side are just way better, and just way more options for you. And Sauer really utilizing that, and Old Garden just not quite having an answer for it. They don't quite know what to do yet.
Well, we saw Sauer make very quick passes there once they sort of broke through and were able to get a break point there with the lead, 3-2. So Old Garden maybe feeling a little pressure to respond to that.
Yeah, it's the young girls are coming out hot. They're pushing them a little bit harder than maybe they thought they were going to get pushed. So we'll see if they can turn it around, get another point, and see if Sauer has another break point in them.
Okay, looks like Sauer is ready to pull it over to Old Garden.
Beautiful pull.
Yes. We go caught by Ho and moving up the field. Forehand up the field by Wanamaniak. But out of bounds. So Sauer with a chance for another break point. Jennifer Clark on the sidelines. Puts it up. No one was there for it.
I think that was also just a bit of a high stall count to just get it down the field, a better position on defense. She again just didn't quite have what she wanted, getting it off the sideline from the handlers. So a bit of a punt, I think, there, and just play defense after.
Yeah, kind of pinned on the sideline, try to get a better position and play for another turnover.
Yeah, which they've been doing pretty good job of. They're getting the breaks, so it's just a matter of converting on them once they get them.
Okay, well, Old Garden is going to try to avoid that turnover and get the point. Nice pass up the field. Over to Wong. Wong moves it up to T. Oh, and a layout catch attempt. Couldn't pull it together. Oh, we have an injury. Looks like Eva Tam is calling in a substitution on Team Sauer. Oh, sorry, no, that's not correct.
Clark.
Jennifer Clark calling in a substitution. Excuse me. So we have Crystal Caldwell coming in. And play continues. Trainer. Oh, another call on the field.
Another pick up the field, I believe.
So these picks are the players just running into each other?
Yeah, they're just setting their stack a little bit too tight. So you just need a little bit more space between you and the next offensive person, just so that you have space to start your cut and you're not cutting into another one of your own offensive players.
Okay. Well, Trainer manages to swing it across. Quick movement into, a contested catch. They caught it at the same time, but they seem to work it out. It'll be Caldwell taking the disc for Sauer. Swinging it back in the middle for Barber. And Barber over to Saravallo.
Oh, just out of reach. That was quite the bomb. Had a little bit extra spice on it, just out of the reach.
Sauer unable to capitalize on that break point. Old Garden now hoping to get their offense together and move the disc up the field here. Looks like we got another call on the field. The observer running over to discuss.
Might be a travel. I'm not sure what could be called.
Okay. Old Garden swinging it over, but they are deep in their own end zone and a turnover. Foul called.
It came out a little bit weird. I think her hand may have been hit in the process of throwing.
Okay. And it looks like possession will go back to Lee from the Old Garden in her own end zone. Game on. Swinging it over. Looks like we have another call on the field, Grace.
It's an injury upfield here. Number 95 is walking off.
Okay. Trainer is getting a substitution, and it looks like we have, is that 14? Delaney coming on.
Old Garden quite pinned in their own end zone and really crowded. You can see right now we've got 4 of their offensive players all kind of clumped together, so they're struggling a bit with their spacing right now, it looks like.
Oh, good throw there to get it out of there. Nice throw upfield again for Old Garden. Kenning moves it upfield again, moving it up the sideline here. Lee, again, another throw up.
Oh, what a grab.
Terry Whitehead able to pick it up, and Kenning there to make the catch. What a point.
That was a long point. I will say Old Growth the whole way up, just jamming it up the sideline, really not using the middle or the far side of the field at all. So they got that point and they moved it out of their own end zone, but they should be really working on using the whole field, and their spacing. Their spacing that last point was not great. It got them into a bit of trouble. So hopefully they can work on that and start moving a little bit better on offense. Sauer clamping down hard on defense, and I don't know that they're going to get that many points just working it up the open side like that.
Well, able to go coast to coast there from deep in their own end zone and save that point. It seemed like Sauer had an opportunity to get a break point there, but unable to capitalize.
Yeah, that was hard defense from Sauer. They did well, pushed Old Growth hard. They had to, or Old Garden, sorry, they had to work hard there.
All right. So we are all tied up at 3, and we have Old Garden pulling it to Sauer. Sauer would like to respond. with a point of their own on offense here. Okay, swinging it into the middle of the field and quickly moving it up. We got Delaney hucking it up the field. Oh, just out of reach by Ewing there.
Misread that a bit. That was a good put. She stopped to jump and could have just ran it out. It was a really good look. That was good offense by Sauer.
So Old Garden here trying to move it up the field, see if they can capitalize on this turnover. Moving it up the field. Moving it up the sideline, unable to catch that. Sauer now back on offense. Swinging it over to Haley. Haley throwing it up and across to the sideline to Carter. Continuing it up the sideline, but out of reach from Haley. So Old Garden back in possession. We got Tissandier and quick passes over to Desjardins. Tissandier and a good progression up the field there. Oh, but knocked down, I believe. Missed, couldn't be caught by Kuhn there. So Sauer, an opportunity for a break point here. And it is up to Haley. One more, but out of reach.
These offenses are working hard. The throws are just escaping the cutters by a little bit. They're good choices. Just the execution of them not quite there. The offenses are moving well though. They're just not quite completing yet.
Oh, nice reaching catch there. Old Garden on offense here. Swinging it back to the middle. Quick throws here.
Oh,
Eva Tam unable to catch that. Quick movement there from Old Garden.
another really good look from Old Garden.
Sauer back in possession. Swinging it over to Adams. Back to the middle. And it's put up to McMichael. Back to Adams, catching it as she falls over. Forehand, back to Adams. Or sorry, that's McMichael. Looking to convert here. Dropping it back to Adams. Looking in the end zone. Seemed like the stall count was high there, and Adams threw it away.
Yeah, the handler went up the line, and it was just a throw that she didn't quite have, and didn't have a lot of time to find another good option there.
Wow, another long point here, Grace, in this heat.
Yep, another timeout called. It's some hard-fought points, and it's the hottest point in the day right now on this turf. It's cooking, so these women are working hard. They're just not quite completing the throws. They're moving well. The offenses look good. It's just a bit of an unlucky series of events for both teams here.
And I hear you about the turf being warm. The turf indeed does get hot in the sun. In fact, at every halftime at the end of the game, they hose down the turf just to, I imagine, cool it down because the turf doesn't need to get watered. But this is one of the hottest playing surfaces at one of the hottest points in the day right now. And we have some long points between these teams.
Yeah, I can't imagine being out there right now. It's turf's been known to melt cleats, so I imagine the women, especially the women that are laying out for these discs, it's a level of commitment, and they're pushing hard. We'll see if OG can come up with this point here. They've got, seems like an isolation offense set up for Shepherd.
So Old Garden gets to place their offensive players, and then Sauer comes in to mark their players. And the game is on. To Sanjay, looking to offload this disc. Swings it to the middle. Back to Sanjay. Good progress up the field. Looking back to Sanjay. And there's a huck. And a diving catch by Shepherd. And a continuation. Caught by MacArthur. They are excited out there right now.
That was a pretty unbelievable bid. Ran that down hard. That one worked out for them. Those are just the ones they hadn't been completing on the first start of the game, and that one was absolutely beautiful.
A hard-fought point there by Old Garden. Way to capitalize after the timeout call.
Yeah, they set up whatever offense they wanted there during that timeout, and it worked well for them. They capitalized on their nice little break there. Those 14 ladies get to take a bit of a break on the sideline here.
Number 36, Sanjay, really working hard for that point. Great diagonal upfield cut and making that huck. Fantastic play there. That puts Old Garden 4-3 ahead of Sauer. So Sauer's offense here, receiving the disc in black. They are going to be looking to respond with a point of their own.
Two of those women that were on the last point for Old Garden said that they've been friends since they were 5 years old. So they got a bit of chemistry there between those two on Old Garden.
Okay, well, and we did hear how a lot of the players on Team Sauer are playing together for the first time this tournament. Okay. Sauer in the middle of the field. Passed it up to Barber, and Barber sends it up to Trainer. Trainer back on the field, which is good to see. But a turnover, just couldn't make that catch. And Old Garden call on the field here.
I think another injury. I think Sauer's having a tough time here with these injuries. They seem to be coming back out on the field later on, but they're a small team to start with, so you don't want to see too many of those in a game.
Well, we got Caldwell coming on as a substitute. And Old Garden in control of the disc, looking to get a break point here and a 2-point lead in this game. A huck is put up here. Defended, though. Sauer, great knockdown there. Sauer back in control, looking to get back on track. And Caldwell puts it up.
Oh, almost had it.
Barber unable to bring that down. Old Garden back in control here. Kapichowski with the disc. Swinging it over to Lee. Good progression there. Up to Tay. Dropping it back. Slows it down a little bit, moving it back to the middle. Kowalchuk. Moving over to Edgett. Number 27, dropping it back and swinging it back over to Tay. Oh, excellent defensive play there. Sauer gets the turnover.
Really good patience on Calgary on Old Garden there.
I believe that was Elizabeth Weld with that defensive play. Oh no, another turnover, unfortunately for Sauer. And Old Garden with an excellent opportunity here to get a break point. Lee swings it over, and it's put and caught. Old Garden capitalizing with a break point and taking a 2-point lead in this game.
They didn't quite get the break there, but number 32, Elizabeth Weld on Sauer, had some unbelievable defense that last point, forced that huck up the line that was a turn, and two good plays in a row. She was playing hard defense. So she didn't get it for the team, but she put a lot of pressure on Old Garden players there, and really great job from Weld.
Yes. Well, the offensive line of Sauer now must be feeling some pressure to respond after a lead like that.
Had a bunch of breaks in a row there. The long points seeming to go in favor of Old Garden right now. Just maybe a bit of experience, a little bit more consistent throwing, maybe some shorter throws. They're working well on these long points together.
Now, Sauer does have a little bit of a smaller roster. Do you think that can play a factor with these long points, the heat? You know, you see them drinking a lot of water out there. Just the fact that Old Garden has more players to use in this game, do you think over the long term that might be a factor?
Yeah, absolutely, especially when we keep seeing these injuries like Sauer's having. Little tweaks don't seem so bad, but you got 3 days of ultimate coming up here, so those catch up to you.
Well, Sauer receiving the disc here, looking to answer from that point to Old Garden here. Moving it back to Haley. Oh, great defensive play there by Old Garden. Might be a play or a foul called, though. Old Garden is going to retain possession, and we got Tissandier taking control, moving it up to Tam. Tam stuck on the sideline. Call on the field. Little discussion happening. Play resumes. Tam still on the sideline, able to move it out to the center. Kuhn, number 1, looking up the field, swings it back to the middle. Voice able to make a pass up to Kuhn. Right on the end zone line, and they are able to sneak it through for a point, making it 6-3 for Old Garden.
Their D-line has been converting very well, really putting pressure on Sauer and coming out strong, really finishing those points, not only getting the breaks, but making sure they're converting on them and really punishing Sauer for those turnovers they're having.
Indeed, that is now 2 break points for Old Garden, now giving them a 3-point lead.
3 break points in a row, I believe it's been. So it's they're on a bit of a tear right now. Sauer needs some form of an answer. I'm not sure what it is, but they got to switch something up here.
Well, as we've been saying, it is late in the day, and Team Sauer is going to have to dig deep to try and turn this around. A 3-point lead this early in the game is, or is that a big deal, or is this something they really need to turn around?
No, they've got to sort something out right now. Their offense is just not working, so they need to switch something up, because Old Garden has shown that they're going to capitalize on those turns. So they can't be letting the ladies have a shot like that.
Well, the disc is up. Sauer on the sideline. Hawkins moves it into the middle. And it's up to Trainer. Trainer flicking it up. And Hawkins sends a forehand flick, caught by Patterson for a quick point there for Sauer.
So you can see on that last point, they were using the open side a little bit more, just getting some movement, worrying less about pushing the break side and more about just getting the flow of the game working. And that worked a lot better for them. Had a nice up the line cut. There was a bit of a poach defense, but she stayed safe, made sure that she wasn't creating contact with the upline player, and had a beautiful huck deep to a wide open player. So it was a really good movement there from Sauer.
And that must be a relief for the Sauer offense, being able to get a quick point there. They're not out there getting hot. They just get to do their job and go sit down and relax a little bit. So that brings us to 6-4 for Old Garden. And Old Garden looking to respond, trying to maintain their lead over Sauer.
Got a strong line again here out for Old Garden.
Okay. Looking, like I said, to maintain their lead, avoid a break point. They've managed to secure some break points. They want to hold on to those points and not give them up. Okay, nice tandem clap there by Sauer, and the disc is pulled. Old Garden moving the field, or the disc up to the middle of the field. Oh, and a defensive play by Delaney.
Oh, looking like Amanda Ho has a bit of a cramp going.
Oh.
Trying to stretch it out. She's been working hard. It's hot, losing a lot of water. So cramping's a pretty common thing.
I love how quickly her teammates were there to just
they know the pain of a cramp. Nobody needs to experience that any longer than they have to.
Yes, they knew exactly what was happening, supporting their teammate. And as you said, you know, these these players are working in the heat. They're trying to stay hydrated, but it has been a long day here.
Well, in teams that aren't necessarily used to the warm, dry Okanagan heat, coming from places just a little bit cooler than here, so maybe not quite getting the water intake, bananas, whatever they need.
Well, as the game stands, we have Old Garden in white out of Calgary with 6 points ahead of Sauer in black out of Halifax, Nova Scotia with 4 points. Hopefully these players can survive this game, Grace.
Yeah, it's looking a little bit rough. It's I guess the first day. It's a competitive tournament. A lot of these teams didn't necessarily play in regionals, so maybe it's one of the more competitive tournaments they've had in a while. Highest play of ultimate, and running a little harder than they maybe expected, and bodies aren't quite ready for it yet. 3 days is a long tournament, and it's hard on your body, so you got to make sure you're preparing well.
Looks like they're still trying to stretch out that cramp. Players waiting on the field, probably hoping that she is okay. Looks like they're going to try and get her off the field here. Wow. You hate to see an injury, but you do love to see that kind of sportsmanship and camaraderie among the players.
Yeah, it's nice. Play should resume. I think it is still going to be a turn, and Sauer will come up with the disc. It looked like a clean D. They just had a bit of a cramp.
Okay, so Sauer taking control of the disc. Looks like Jennifer Clark will be handling it here, and game is on. Swings it back to the middle for Weld, and Weld continues it over to Haley. Haley couldn't find Delaney there, and Old Garden back in control here. Oh, looks like we have another substitution.
I think that's Clark. I think she tried to play another point from her previous injury, and it's not going to work. She said she tried, but I just don't think she's going to be playing the rest of the game at this point.
Okay. So we got a substitution coming in. Looks like it's going to be Adams coming in for Clark. And we've got Fung taking the disc for Old Garden, trying to move it off the line and does it successfully. Wodamaniuk taking the disc, moving it upfield. Old Garden finds room for a huck forehand, but it kind of stalled out there.
Sauer player really closing that distance quickly. Even if it didn't stall out, Delaney would have been there.
All right, so Sauer back in control. Great throw up the sideline and continuing it. Trying to find Trainer, but denied by Old Garden.
She needed a little more loft on that. Trainer's got that height match up, but the discs stalled just a little bit.
Okay, over to Whitehead, and Whitehead puts it up, but unable to find Fung there. Once again, we have a back and forth point here, Grace. Sauer in control, forehanding it up to Trainer. Trainer at the center line, but on the sideline. Moves it up. Oh. Defense by Old Garden there, knocked out of the air. So Old Garden back in control. Over to Whitehead. Whitehead moves it up to Kenning, and Kenning puts it in the air, but unable to find Whitehead.
It's a beautiful poach there. She left her check to mark up on Whitehead there and really saved them that point.
Sauer unable to find a completed pass, and Old Garden with another opportunity here. Puts it in the middle for Wodamaniuk. Over to Whitehead. Whitehead looking deep, but gonna have to swing it back to the middle for Wodamaniuk. Moves it up the field, and again, swinging it back to the sideline for Wodamaniuk. And Wodamaniuk finds, is that Wong for the point? Old Garden maintaining their lead and growing it to 7-4 over Sauer.
That was another long point. Both offenses doing a really good job swinging the disc, moving it well, just not quite converting on some of those throws, just a little bit out of reach.
So this is a game to 15, and they will be taking a timeout at 8 points. So Old Garden, if they can get a turnover and a conversion here, they'll be going into the our second half with a commanding lead here.
Yeah, it would be a strong finish to the first half, getting a break to take half 8-4.
But of course, Sauer's offense is going to do their best to stop that and keep closing the distance to Old Garden.
Sauer, the last 0 point they had prior was really, really efficient. Used not only the break side, open side, kept the disc moving, and had a really nice huck. So we'll see if they go back to that or if they're still trying to work that break side.
Well, we can assume some of those players had a good rest after that long point where they just went through. So Sauer moving the field, or the disc to the middle of the field to Caldwell. Caldwell moves it up to Patterson. Patterson swings it back over to Hawkins, back over to Caldwell with a give and go back to Patterson. Or, sorry, back to Hawkins. Sauer with some excellent disc movement here. Hawkins swings it back to the middle for Shea. Shea looking for a teammate. Finds Gillespie. Duffy. Back to Caldwell. And over to Shea. Quick disc movement here. Over to Caldwell. Looking to convert.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. They were unable to catch it. 2 Sauer players there to catch it, but unable to grab it.
That was really, really good movement from Sauer there. It's unfortunate they couldn't bring that one down.
Fantastic disc movement by Sauer. Old Garden, though, looking to capitalize on that mistake. Moving it up the field. Unable to continue and finish that, but still put Sauer back past half. Oh, and a bit of a lofty pass.
Foul looks to be called on the throw. They're just having a discussion. I think the Sauer player is saying that the contact caused her to not be able to catch the disc.
I see, and as we've been talking about in earlier games, this is a self-officiated sport. The players are officiating this game. There's an observer there listening to the conversation, might be able to mediate the discussion, but it's really up to the players to decide how these calls go, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's spirit of the game is a huge part in Ultimate. It's all entirely self-ref, so you kind of have to hold yourself and your teammates accountable and really, really bring some spirit forward.
Well, looks like it is going to go to Old Garden. We got Kuhn with the disc, swinging it over to Sanjay. Overhead pass intercepted by Caldwell.
Looks to be a stall down on the throw, uncontested. So that was a really, really good mark there.
Okay, so the stall count reached 10, and it was a turnover before the throw. Going back to Sauer and Caldwell starting off, and a forehand huck here to the end zone, caught by Erica Barber. And that is a point. That is what Sauer needed here to stay in this game, closing the gap. We have Sauer in black from Halifax, Nova Scotia at 5, and Old Garden in white from Calgary, Alberta with 7.
It's a nice hard-fought point there. Sauer doing a really good job with patience. They worked that end zone really well. It's incredibly hard when a team is using the break side so well. When it gets to end zone, you really, as a defensive player, are marking everywhere. You don't really have a side that the mark's taking, just because Sauer is doing such a good job at utilizing those throws. So when they get to red zone, it's a danger zone when a team is playing as well as Sauer with that break side.
Sauer having a little conversation on the line there. Can see Jennifer Clark, who looks like will be unable to play for this half at least. Sauer pulling the disc. And Old Garden on offense, looking to convert this point and head into halftime with a lead. Call on the field. Didn't catch that call, but play continues. And a missed throw.
Bit of a miscommunication there.
Sauer with a big opportunity here to close the gap even further before halftime here. Excellent swing over. Lots of space for Ewing. Over to Delaney. And Delaney to Adams. Adams, forehand up the field, but missed. Old Garden with the defense.
Throw had a bit of some spice on it, just a little too much to handle. Oh,
And
seems like there might be an injury, I think, maybe.
Fung looks like is substituting, stepping off with an injury. And it looks like Sauer also taking a substitution. Haley stepping off and substituting.
So when there is a player that's from one team that has an injury, the opposing team has the opportunity to trade out one of their players. So somebody does get a break on the field.
Oh, look at this. Terry Whitehead chasing it down, but even with that speed, unable to catch up to that one. So Sauer all the way back at their end zone, hoping to move the disc up the field and close the gap here. Good progress up the field to Patterson. Patterson drops it back. Over to Delaney. Oh, Delaney moved it up, but unable to be caught. Dropped by Ewing there. Old Garden, opportunity to close this half.
Another pick called up the field here.
Is this typical to have this kind of calls in a game?
In a vertical stack, it's quite often a lot of picks, just because you're so tight with each other. It's hard not to get in each other's way.
I see. After the call, unable to convert the pass. Sauer back in control here. Adams with a great catch there, moving it up quickly to Duffy. Call on the field. Play continues. Gillespie with the disc. Swinging it over. Back to Duffy. Moves it up the field, but unable to find her player. Old Garden back in control.
Both of these teams putting massive amounts of pressure on defense, both doing putting in a lot of hard work on D.
A huck up to Terry Whitehead, who hops it over the line. Oh, they may be calling it not in. Not enough hop for Terry.
Observer was saying it was in fact not in. Oh, we may have had conflicting observer calls. Oh, no, there we go.
Okay, so Terry drops it back. And it is completed nonetheless. Kenning catches it in the end zone, and Old Garden from Calgary will be entering second half with a 4-point lead. Is that right? Or, sorry, a 3-point lead over Sauer. The Sauer from Halifax, Nova Scotia. So Sauer is going to have some work to do in the second half.
They absolutely will. We'll see what they come up with during their timeout. Just wanted to thank our partners, we have Discraft and BE Ultimate making us look spiffy here at Ultimate Nationals. We'll take a break and we'll come back at the end of half here.
Okay, we are back for the second half here at the Canadian Ultimate Championship Masters. We have Sour in black from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and Old Garden in white from Calgary, Alberta. Old Garden is leading 8 points over Sour with 4. And it looks like Old Garden will be pulling the disc. So Sour will be on offense, looking to close the gap between their points. They've got 3 points to make up here, Grace.
Yeah, Sour's really turned around their offense. They're looking sharp. They're a really enjoyable team to watch when the flow starts moving. They're really using that break side, really, really good execution, and it's really fun to watch them when their offense is working. And Old Garden just really, really pushing strong players on Old Garden, and really just showing their experience, doing quite well here.
First half, we saw long points, we saw injuries, we saw timeouts. This looks like it's a bit of a tough match here.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of cloud here now, a little bit of shade. So hopefully it's a little bit cooler for the women out there.
Well, let's hope that Sour can show us some of that offense that you were talking about. They have 3 points to make up. It is 8-5 for Old Garden in white over Sour in black. Here we go. The pull is up. Looks like Sour's going to get it close to the center of the field. And a quick pass over to Caldwell in the center of the field. Moving it up to Trainer. Back to Caldwell. Swinging it over to the sideline for Sparavailo. And over to Hawkins. And back to Sparavailo. But unfortunately, not caught, and a turnover for Old Garden here. Oh, we got a call on the field.
Another pick in the vertical stack here.
So these players are just trying to make cuts, but they find an opposing player is in their way.
Not even an opposing player. It can be their own player. It's just you need a clear path. And right now, oh no, got bonked in the head there. Right now, they just they don't quite have that clear path. They're a bit too tight in their vertical stack.
I see. Well, Old Garden with possession here. Moving it up to Luke. Luke looking to, actually puts it up, but Sour back in control.
Oh,
one too many passes there for Sour, and Old Garden back in control, close to Sour's end zone here, looking to extend their lead. Tay moves it back to the middle for Edgett. Edgett moves it back to Tay. Oh, and Trainer able to get a hand on that. And Sour is back in control here.
those long limbs really helping her out. She just reached around the offensive player, knocked that disc down.
Excellent defense by Trainer. Up to Caldwell. Tight to the sideline, looking to move it to the middle, and they swing it over. Back to Hawkins in the middle, and up to Trainer. Swinging it right around, and back up to Caldwell. Putting it forward, one more, and there's Trainer. All over the field, catching it. A point for Sour, 1 point closer. It is now 6 points for Sour from Halifax, Nova Scotia, against 8 points for Old Garden from Calgary here.
Number 19 on Sour, Hawkins, when she wants to take over handling, she's unstoppable. She's very quick. Give goes, like she's really dominating. When she decides to turn it on offense, she really can take over the game.
Well, we saw that there, and we were mentioning Trainer earlier, making that defensive play and then being part of the progression of the passes and being there to catch it in the end zone as well. So fantastic hustle from Trainer there. Old Garden, though, still 2 points ahead, still in control of this game, and their offensive line looking to respond to maintain this lead they have.
So far, their offensive line has been doing quite well converting too. So let's see if Sour can get a break here.
Looks like the hands are up. They're ready. Here comes the pull. Old Garden's got it, moving into the middle of the field. Quickly over to the sideline. Moving it up. Whitehead moves it up to Wong. Wong on the sideline. Oh, we got a play called.
Another pick, I believe. Women on the field seeming to have a bit of a laugh. Spirits are good even with all these calls here.
That is good to hear.
Here we are, another pick.
As we've talked about, the spirit of the game is so important. These players need to call the rules. They need to call these picks, these fouls, as they see them, as they're happening to them. That's their duty as a player in Ultimate. And so the sportsmanship, the spirit, so important. Old Garden looking to convert. Excellent catch there by Wong.
Oh,
and
beautiful cleanup there.
Put too low, but not too low to be caught by Old Garden, getting the point, extending their lead. 9-6 over Sour.
Beautiful coming off the back of the stack there. She it wasn't meant for her, but she saw it sneak through and laid out to pick up the garbage there. That was beautiful little collection there at the end.
Fantastic play from Old Garden.
Really good break throw. What looked like Kenning may have been stuck on that front corner, couldn't get it off the sideline, and she put out a really good break throw to get it centered and created that point for Old Garden.
Well, once again, Sour's offense needs to respond to keep pace with this effective Old Garden offense that we've seen here. And we know that the Old Garden defensive line is not going to make it easy for them. Little discussion on the sideline. Looks like both teams are ready. And here we go. Okay. Disc is in the center of the field. Sour picks it up. Oh no. A bit of an errant throw back. Looked like Sparavelo wasn't ready for it, and Old Garden now has the opportunity to extend their lead once again. Great forward throw to Voice. Voice looking to the end zone. Great defensive play by Trainer once again. Sour with an opportunity to get this point, fix that little mistake. Oh no, intercepted by Shepard. Tam looking to convert this, needs to offload it, but couldn't find their player. Sauer trying to slow down here, calling a play. Sparavelo moving it up to Barber. Barber finds Duffy, Gillespie. Back to Barber. Sauer moving it up the field with the chance. And Hawkins able to find Trainer in the end zone for a point.
That must feel a little bit crappy on that defender's side. She's doing the best she can. She was in great position. That's just about a foot difference in a height matchup, and I don't think there's anything she can really do when it's put up high to stop Trainer.
Well, and Trainer is working to get into those positions on defense and in offense. That's the second time we've seen Trainer with a big defensive play and then catching the disc in the end zone. Fantastic play by Trainer and a great point for Sauer to close the distance, making this game a little bit more tight. Okay. But as we've been saying, this Old Garden offense has been effective, and they can just keep adding points to this total here. What does Sauer's defense need to do to make a break point here? Catch up.
Just need to convert. They seem to get the turnovers. They just don't quite know how to then get the point from it. So let's see if they can convert here.
Okay. Wojtymaniuk with the disc in the center of the field, moving it up to Whitehead. Whitehead back to Wojtymaniuk. Back to Whitehead. A little give and goes here between the two of them. Swinging it back to Kenning, but Kenning unable to hang on to that. Sauer with that opportunity you were talking about. Can they convert? Adams trying to find Caldwell, unable to.
It's a bit of a miscommunication there on the handlers.
And it is up and through. Wong able to catch it in. The Calgary team, Old Garden, looking strong on offense.
Yeah, they're looking really strong. And even when they cause those turnovers, they are really, really doing well on defense. So their O-line, even when they're not converting, is getting the disc back, it seems like, every time. So they're looking pretty good out there. The Sauer women are coming out strong. They're just not quite completing, not quite finishing, I should say. They're moving it well, but they just can't quite execute. They get turns and then can't create the offense, and their offense is sometimes not quite completing the throws they're looking to. So see if Sauer can pull through here.
Well, Sauer's offensive line has been great in this second half, looking to get a point and provide that an opportunity for their defensive line to get that break point and get back into this game. Hands are up. And Old Garden pulling the disc. Sauer has the disc thrown to the seventh, into the center of the field for Sparavelo. Dropped back from Carter. Trainer finds Barber. Give and go back to Barber. Finds Hawkins, and it's put up. And Patterson unable to chase that down. Excellent bid for Sauer there.
I think it was just a bit out the back. I think they could have got there if it was just a little bit of a shorter pass. I think they just didn't have the space out the back of the end zone to run that one down.
Okay, well, Old Garden, opportunity to extend their lead here. Over to Kuhn. Oh, but a unfortunate turnover there for Old Garden, and a great opportunity for Sauer here. Sparavailo taking the disc. Great catch for Barber. Barber putting it up for Trainer, and it is caught. Trainer is catching everything in the end zone tonight.
Yeah, they seem to just not have an answer for her so far. It's I don't know if it's I think it's a combo of size and skill, but she's making excellent cuts, and with the height that she has and the speed, it's hard to match up. You can't really do much when you're just outsized and outsped.
Well, Trainer and the Sauer offense is showing great athleticism in this heat, long points. They are all over the field, making it happen. But now it's up to the Sauer defense here to try to pull them back into this game, find that break point, but they have to go through this efficient and effective Old Garden offense.
Yeah, they're getting the turns. Like we said, they're getting the turns. They're just not quite executing once they get them. So hopefully they can push here, get a turn, and create some offense from it.
Sauer, I'm sure, looking to pull that disc as far as they can, get down there quick, and get an early turnover here. Okay, Sauer puts the disc in the air. It's caught by Desjardins. Moved in the middle for Whitehead. Moving up the sideline to Kenning. Really powerful cut there by Desjardins. And it's put up for Whitehead. Oh, but brought down by Sauer's defense there. Oh no, Haley unable to catch that. Turnover right at the end zone line. And a quick pass to Whitehead. A point for Old Garden. Now, Grace, we heard a horn there. Does that mean that they're getting close to the time cap?
I think that may have been a soft cap horn.
So the players will continue, but that certainly means that Sauer is running out of time with a 4-point or three-point deficit here, 11-8.
Absolutely, yep. Up until this point, other than that one on Whitehead, Sauer hasn't really had an answer for the speed of Kenning and Whitehead on offense. So we'll see if they can stop those two speed racers in the defensive front and see if they can get a turn from it.
Well, considering the time, Sauer's offense is going to be looking for a quick point here to provide another opportunity for their defense to get a break point here. Old Garden in white from Calgary, pulling the disc to Sauer from Halifax, Nova Scotia in black. Sauer looking to see if they can pull themselves back into this game. Hawkins back to Sparavailo. Moving it over to Barber. Oh, and Sparavailo could not chase that down.
I think she misjudged that. She absolutely could have run that down. I think she thought it was floating more than it was.
Nonetheless, Old Garden with an opportunity to really shut down this game here with a point. Shepard looking for a pass, but Trainer, another defensive play. Sauer couldn't complete the pass.
See if Trainer can do it again here. Maybe a big hand block.
They need it. Sauer needs some defense. They need a turnover. Well, there it is. There it is. Sauer has an opportunity here. Sparivelo has the disc. Let's see what she can do. Swings it over to Hawkins. Over to Trainer. Back to Barber. And up the field to Duffy. Swings it back to the middle for Hawkins. Back to Duffy. Over to Trainer. Back to Duffy. And Trainer making a cut. Chooses to swing it back to the middle. Back to Duffy. Puts it up. Big defensive play there.
Really tried to jam that one in. They had good patience and good movement up until that last point. They, I think we're just trying to rush it a bit.
Shepard was not going to let that pass through. Great defensive play there. Once again, with these teams, we have a bit of a long
back and forth point.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not making it easy on themselves in this heat. Oh, there we go. Timeout.
There we go. Timeout called. Water will be run onto the field for these players. And Old Garden looking to come up with a plan to convert this point and seal the deal on this game with a 4-point lead if they can get this conversion.
Absolutely. Sauer on defense between Trainer and Weld have been a force. So they've created a lot of turns for Sauer, and they're really keeping them in the game. Those two are proving to be powerhouses on both defense and offense. They've looked for a Trainer in the end zone quite frequently the last few points. So she's putting on work on both ends of the field right now.
You know, on these timeouts, we see players clapping and dancing. Are they just having fun, or what are they doing there, Grace?
They're just having fun. They're making sure on these long points, the ladies on the field get a little bit of a boost, a little bit of some energy in them. It's not fun being on the field on these long points, and it's you feel bad for them on the sideline. You're just resting in the shade, and they're out there suffering through 7-minute points.
Yes, well, Sauer has to dig deep here, try and get that turnover and convert this point.
So Sauer's showing a bit of a poach right off the start here with Gillespie just parking kind of in the open area. Oh,
Old Garden tried a bit of a huck there, but we have a foul called. Could that be contact with the thrower?
Yeah, I think as she was releasing, she got her hand hit. Hawkins is, I think, trying to say that she was stationary and it was the throw that came into her.
You cannot hit the defender if they are stationary with your own follow through. Is that correct?
That's correct. I don't know too many marks that are stationary though, so not a perfectly sound argument there, but they are keeping it as a turnover, it seems.
Okay. So Sauer will get possession just past the center line.
So as soon as the OG player taps the ground. It's live again here, and we can start with some Sauer offense.
Okay. Looks like Sparavailo is going to be taking the disc. Up to Trainer. And a give and go to Sparavailo, who drops the disc. Unfortunate. Old Garden once again in command of this game.
Good switching here on Sauer's defense.
Kapachowski on the sideline here. Puts up a blade, but it is caught. A little collision here.
Full contact there between the two players.
Kowalchuk is down in pain, it appears.
Bit of a dangerous throw there. A bit floaty in a high traffic area, and she looks to be okay, but it was quite a collision between the two OG players there.
Wow. And it looks like Kowalchuk will take a substitution. Hopefully she is okay. Seems to be all right. Old Garden starting off with possession. Moving it up to MacArthur. Over to Voice. Tam has it, looking to swing it. Puts it forward, but Sparavailo able to get that defense. Hawkins takes the disc. Moves it to Trainer in the center, who continues to swing it over to Barber. Gillespie has the disc in the center. Moves it forward to Weld, and Weld puts it up to Trainer, of course, in the end zone.
Beautiful grab there. That disc was just floating away quite a bit, had a bit of an edge on it, and she snags it out of the air with authority there.
Excellent catch by Tanis Trainer, who has been a force in the end zone tonight.
Absolutely, a force on both ends. She's created a lot of turns for their defense and seems to just be unstoppable in the end zone.
Well, perhaps some hope for Team Sauer here to come back into this game.
Yeah, down 2 points. It's soft cap has gone, so they're on a bit of a time crunch, but their D does create turnovers for them. So they're just 2 break points from tying this game up.
As you've said, they've had this defensive line for Sauer has had so many opportunities. They just need to capitalize and convert one of these points. Caldwell with the pull. But this Old Garden offense has been effective tonight. Desjardins with the disc. Over to Whitehead. Whitehead moves it up to T. Caught by Kenning.
I think a bit of a foul on the mark there. Got a little excited.
Okay. Play continues. Kenning looking to convert. And a defensive play there. Kenning unable to find the end zone pass. Sauer with an opportunity here. Caldwell chasing down that disc, but knocked out of the air by Old Garden. Old Garden back on track here in their offensive play. And it's put in and caught by Tessa Kenning.
Kenning and Whitehead seem to be pretty large targets upfield for OG's handlers, and really, really efficient in the end zone. Both of those women really coming in clutch for OG here.
Old Garden is looking to be in control this game. Old Garden out of Calgary, Alberta, leading 12-9 over Sauer out of Halifax, Nova Scotia.
I think that may have been a game.
There it is with the time cap called. They're going to end the game there, 12-9. Sauer seemed to be playing so well throughout this game. What do you think Old Garden did to just make it so they could not come back into it?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know that it was Old Garden. I think that Sauer was their own worst enemy. They just weren't finishing those D points. I can't even remember how many breaks they got this game, and they just couldn't couldn't turn that into points on offense. So they're really their own worst enemy, which is great because you can work on that. You can't work on what the other team's doing, but they came out strong, and when they were flowing on offense, Sauer really, really performed well. Really great movement and did well. The Old Garden women, though, just coming in clutch. Their offense really dominant. Some really quick cutters and some high skill on Old Garden's team. So yeah, these teams are looking strong. I'm sure they'll go pretty far here this weekend.
Well, hopefully the best of luck for these two teams. I'm sure they're looking forward to getting out of this heat and drinking some water and resting tonight because they have a lot more games to play this weekend.
Absolutely. Yeah. We wish them luck, and we want to say thank you once more to our sponsors, Discraft and BE Ultimate. Without them, we couldn't run such an amazing tournament. So thank you to our sponsors, and see you all tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow we will be back live with 3 games at 10:30, 2:30, and 4:30. Please join us for some more live Ultimate at the Canadian Ultimate Championship Masters. Thank you so much.